Hey, hello Team Rhino, and this is your coach placement and cycle training. I know I get a lot of questions and I help a lot of people place coaches properly for maximizing uh, cycle volume as well as maximizing your um, rank advancement. So I thought I would do a training on it, give you guys an idea how to do it on your own. I really honestly don't mind helping everyone do it, but a lot of people seem to not like asking. They would rather do it themselves, and I think that that's great, and you will get the hang of it. But I hope that this training is going to give you a better idea of what to do from the get-go, and actually an understanding of why. And I think that's important to being able to do it yourself. Okay, so what we're going to cover is setting preferred placement, the overall structure of what the downline looks like in our pyramid, advancing to Emerald Coach, so what kind of moves you're going to make to advance to Emerald Coach. Then we're going to stop for a second from that and take a look at basic cycle bonuses and the structure of that. Then we're going to talk about advancing from Emerald up to Ruby and Diamond levels, and then we'll just go over kind of the strategies for placement of your coaches. Okay, so first thing, we want to learn how to set your preferred placement. So I got this little screenshot here of the Beachbody Coach Online Office, and under the My Business tab there, as you can see here, under this My Business tab is the My Preferred Placement thing. Okay, so some tips here: use left and right. Never use the automatic placement, the first available or the weak leg first available options, and see the strategies at the end of this video. What I'm going to do right now is go ahead and get out of this presentation for a second, take you to the internet, and you can see my back office here. I'm going to go to my preferred placement so you can see what this actually looks like. And so what I said here is don't use automatic placement. So this option right here, do not use that automatic placement. Always keep yours on set preferred placement. It should have your coach ID right here or nothing. Business center for all of you is going to be 1 because you only have one business center. Once you get to 2-star diamond, you can open a second business center that all adds to your same account basically. So that'll make sense later, but for now, business center stays at 1. And then you have these position options: first available, left, right, and weak leg first available. You are going to use left and right, and what this is going to do is put people on the outside left leg and the outside right leg, and I'll show you what that means. But those are what you want it to be is set to left or right and set preferred placement. Okay, I've got mine set to left right now. I'm actually going to change that right now and set it to right. All right, so that's what that looks like. Let's get back into the presentation. So use left, right, never use those other ones, and we'll have some strategies at the end. Okay, this is what the structure looks like. Now this is kind of a big, actually it's not that big, but this is a structure of what it looks like, and I'll tell you the kind of nomenclature and stuff that I'm using here. Okay, so what we have right here is a diamond coach. Let's say this is me. There's some coach above me up in this line somewhere. Here's all of my different coaches. The ones that say PS on them are my personally sponsored coaches. Okay, so I've got all these personally sponsored coaches in here. There's some emerald coaches. Those are green coaches. The blue coaches are regular coaches. The yellow or orange coaches are diamond coaches. Okay, so let's take a look at you if you are in my downline on my left leg. Okay, that is you right there. Let's see what you look like. Okay, so here's you. Your left leg is going to be your strong leg. Your right leg is going to be your weak leg. Now that is the case because if you look at where you're at here, there's additional coaches that have been added onto your left leg by me. These are not your coaches. We're pretending that you have no coaches yet. You're just brand new, right? So this is your strong leg because your left leg is your strong leg because you are having other people in this line. Maybe even this guy could add a coach down here, let's say. Sorry about that. This guy could add this coach down here. I can add this coach right here. I can add this coach right here, and this guy can add a coach down here, and he adds a coach over here. So this left leg is your strong leg. This right leg is your weak leg because you're the only one that's going to add coaches down that line. Okay, this is going to make more sense in a little while here, but left leg for this person would be the strong leg, right leg would be the weak leg. Now let's pretend that you're over here. This is you over on my right leg instead of before we had this person picked as you. Let's pretend you're on my right leg. Now it flip-flops, right? Because this is the line, the right leg is the line where I can continue to add coaches. This guy could add a coach down here. This guy could add a coach down here. This guy could add a coach down here, right? As well as you can add coaches down here onto your right leg. So this is your strong leg because it's being built by more than just you. So in this case, because the line's going down this way, you've got the right leg strong, the left leg weak. So it depends on what leg you're on, which one's your strong leg and which one's your weak leg. What you'll notice as you look in your back office is you will see people being added to your organization. Your back office will say, one new coach has been added to your organization, but it wasn't you who put them there. Whatever leg that's being put on, that's your strong leg. That's how you can tell which side you're on. So if you're seeing coaches being added to your right leg, then that means you look like this. If you're seeing coaches being added to your left leg, they're not your personally sponsored, they're being added by someone else, then if you're seeing them added to your left leg, then that's your strong leg. Okay. It will keep making more sense, hopefully, as we go through this. So let's look at me as a diamond coach up here, right? For me, because I'm on a leg that goes down like this, my upline is up here and has an offshoot over here. This continues up. And so this all the way down is my strong leg, and this is my weak leg. Whereas if you're on my weak leg, right here, then the same leg that is my weak leg is your strong leg, and then your weak leg comes off the inside. If you're on my strong leg, the same leg that is my strong leg is your strong leg, and your weak leg comes off the inside. Okay, and that is one of the reasons why we always build to the outside. So we're always building on this part right here and this part right here. If I was placing a coach down my strong leg, I would never place them on one of these inside legs. That is your job as that coach. Each coach has the job of building their inside weak leg, okay, whether it's inside right or inside left. Okay, so let's look at advancing to Emerald. To advance to Emerald, you have to place one coach on each leg. We want to ensure it is the outside position on each leg. If there's two basically types of coaches you're gonna sign, right? You're gonna sign coaches who want to work the business and want to make it a business and are gonna want to sign coaches and make sales and all kinds of run challenge groups, all that stuff. And then you're gonna have discount coaches, and discount coaches are basically coaches who just want to be a coach to get the 25% discount because they're on Shakeology or something like that. Okay, so what I do as a brand new coach, if you can, is if you know the first person that's signing up is a discount coach, I would put them on my strong leg. If the first person that signs up is a coach that wants to work the business, I would put them on my weak leg. And you'll see why that is in a second, because of cycle volume. Okay, so when you're getting cycles, you want the people who are going to produce volume to be on your weak leg, because you have enough volume on your strong leg coming from all the other people who are building with you on that strong leg. So you put the discount coach over there because it counts as an active coach towards rank advancement, but they're not really producing a whole lot of volume. If they're on Shakeology, they produce 90 PV a month, whereas someone who's making sales might be producing 90 PV or 180 PV or 500 PV a week, which helps you with your cycle volume. Okay, so if you can, you put a discount coach on your strong leg, you put a working coach on your weak leg, if those are the two people that you have. Don't worry too much when you're a new coach trying to get to Emerald about discount coaches and working coaches and where to put them, because it's way, way, way more important to get to Emerald than it is to worry about whether you put the right coach on the right leg. It just doesn't matter that much. Okay, but that's just what you should do if you have the option. If someone tells you, hey, I would just want to sign up for the discount, you know that if you have no coaches, the best option is to put them on your strong leg. Okay, which may be your right leg or left leg, depending on where you're at in the organization, like we talked about a second ago. But don't fret over it. The point is to get 2 coaches. It really doesn't matter that much where you put them for your first 2. Just make sure there's one on each leg. And make sure they're active. Make sure they've got their Shakeology or whatever, because you need to have 50 PV. They need to be active for you to stay Emerald. If they're inactive and not either purchasing something themselves or making some type of sale, then you will not get your Emerald. Okay, so that's how you advance to Emerald. 2 coaches, 1 on each leg, and that's kind of the strategy there. All right, so let's look at a scenario of advancing to Emerald, and then the same person kind of advancing on to Diamond. Okay, so here's my organization. Let's say I'm the Diamond coach, and there's you right there, my personally sponsored regular coach. These people are also either mine or coaches from someone else in your upline. Maybe this guy added, this guy here, and he became Emerald by adding this guy and some other guy. These are not your coaches. You are a personally sponsored coach of mine, and you have no coaches. Okay, so we're going to zoom in on this part of your organization, and it looks like this. So these are not your coaches. This is you right here. How are you going to advance to Emerald? You need to put a coach on this leg, and you need to put a coach on, let's go back there. You need to put a coach on this leg going down here. Okay, so that coach is going to go right here, and that's going to be your strong leg or your right leg coach. And then you're going to have a weak leg coach. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so there you just added a personally sponsored coach on your weak leg. That's your inside leg. Okay, so there's your first coach. Boom, now you got a second coach, and this coach is on your strong leg. So they're all the way down below those other coaches that were added by someone else. Okay, so you can see how this is the strong leg, all this stuff over here, because you're not the only one building it. Your coach is way down here below some other people who added coaches before you could get a chance. And look, you're green now. You're Emerald because you got a coach here and a coach here. They're both active. What do you get from that now? Now you start getting cycle bonuses. And I'll show you how the cycle bonuses work in a second. You also qualify for customer leads if you're a club member, you have your profile filled out, and you're making sure you're paying your business fees. Okay, so great things happen when you go to Emerald. You get the cycle bonuses, so you're making residual money off your team, and you're also getting free customer leads from Beachbody. So there's how you get to Emerald. Let's talk about how the cycle bonuses work now that you're at Emerald. Okay, so every time you get 300 TV, which is team volume, you get a cycle. So how that works is you have, every time that the computer sees you have 100 points of team volume in one leg and 200 in the other leg, it gives you a cycle. And it continues to eat away at whatever volume you have to give you cycles until there's not enough to make a full another cycle. And then everything that's left over that's not a full cycle's worth is rolled over to the next month. Okay, so I'll show you an example of that here in a second. Now, there's different cycle amounts for each level of coach. So if you're an Emerald coach, you earn $14 every time you make a cycle. Ruby coaches earn $16. Diamond and above coaches earn $18 per cycle. So it's actually a very good incentive to get to Diamond. The $18 a cycle actually makes a big difference when you're cycling 20, 30, 40, 50 times in a week. Extra $4 on each one of those makes a big difference. Okay, so that's how cycling works. Here's an example. Okay, so this is your organization that we just went through. Here's your personally sponsored coach on your weak leg, your personally sponsored coach on your strong leg. That makes you Emerald, those 2 coaches. These coaches are not your coaches, but they are still on your strong leg. They're coaches that were added by other people on your strong leg. All of the volume from all these coaches on your strong leg, anyone from you down, not including your volume is personal volume, not team volume. Okay, so those two things are different. I've got this note here. Personal volume does not equal team volume. And that also means that the personal volume that these people see when they make sales is not necessarily what you see for team volume. For instance, a challenge pack, P90X challenge pack, they will see 180 PV. You will only see 70 TV. Okay, so that, don't worry too much about that at this point if that doesn't make sense to you. But what you see in your downline when you look at the volume, you will see some on your strong leg, some on your weak leg. In this case, we're assuming, hey, this guy who's not your coach got 180 team volume for you from the sales that he made and whatever team made. This guy got 60 TV. This guy got 90 TV. Your personally sponsored coach is a real performer. He got 270 TV that week. On your left leg, your weak leg, your other personally sponsored coach got 270 TV. So for the week, on your weak leg, you got 270 TV from that one guy. That's the only thing that's on your weak leg right now. On your strong side, the adding up of all these 5 coaches that are on your strong leg, some yours and some not, is 600 TV. So what we see here, whoops, sorry about that, is 270 weak, 600 strong. That's after one cycle for $14. That takes 100 away from this side and 200 away from that side. That's the 300, right? 100 on one side, 200 on the other side. Then it cycles again because there's still more than 100 and 200 there. Cycle for $14. Takes this down to 70 and this down to 200. Now there's not enough for another cycle, right? So actually I shouldn't have this here. There is not a third cycle here, so this is a typo. In fact, I'll just go ahead and fix it. Let's see why I can't. Okay. Okay, so there's 2 cycles for $14. Now you have 70 and 200 left over. That 70 and 200 carries over to next week, so that's what you start with for next week. Okay, so that's an example of how the cycling works. So hopefully you're starting to see why the strong leg is the strong leg, right? Your personally sponsored coach in your downline only put up 270 on your strong leg, but your strong leg volume is 600 that you get to cycle off of, okay? All right, let's talk about advancing to Ruby and Emerald. So now you're a Ruby and Diamond. Now you're an Emerald coach. What do you need to get to Ruby or Diamond? For Ruby, which a lot of people skip right over, is 4 coaches total, 2 on each leg, and one of those 2 on each leg must be an Emerald coach. To be a Diamond, you need 8 coaches, 4 on each leg, and 1 Emerald on each leg. One of those 4 on each leg must be an Emerald. So what you'll notice is that this means it's not just you anymore. It's not just you adding coaches, but your people have to add coaches because you've got to get someone to do what you just did to become an Emerald. Someone on each leg. Okay, so now you got to work with your team to show them how to do what you're doing. Ruby is often skipped over simply because you often have enough total coaches, 8 total coaches that you need, 4 on each leg, already done by the time you get 2 of them to go to Emerald. That's a very common case where you have enough coaches, but you don't have anybody going to Emerald yet. And so you never become Ruby because by the time you get those 2 Emeralds, you already have enough coaches and boom, you're Diamond. So you just go straight from Emerald to Diamond. That's a lot of people do that. Okay, so working coach or discount coach, like we talked about with Emerald, mostly you're going to want to put discount coaches on your strong leg and put working coaches on your weak leg because your strong leg is going to have all that volume from other coaches, and you want to build up your weak leg to get more volume so you can get more cycles. But it's also a balancing act because you need that Emerald over there on your strong leg too in order to go Diamond. So you have to put someone over there who is going to be building the business and actually get to Emerald. All right. So it's kind of a balancing act. I can't give you an exact formula, but I can give you a basic strategy, and we'll talk a little deeper about that at the end. So here's your organization again. You got your 2 personally sponsored coaches and those other coaches that aren't yours that are in your strong leg. You're an Emerald coach. Okay, so you're going to start adding coaches. First coach we add to the weak leg because you want to build up volume on that weak leg. Remember, we ended up with 70 PV or TV left over, and we had 200 to cycle off of, but we didn't have 100. We only had 70. If we add another coach here and he adds another 90 in there, boom, we get another cycle that week, right? So we're trying to build up that weak leg volume so that we can get more cycles. So we add a coach there. If it's obviously a discount coach and you want to be balanced, you can go ahead and add them to the strong leg. So you got to have 4 coaches over there anyway. So if it's a discount coach, maybe that's a good idea. Okay, here we go. We add another coach. Now I've got 3 on my weak leg, 1 on, you have 3 on your weak leg, 1 on your strong leg. There's your 4th on your weak leg, still 1 on the strong leg. We never, like I said, put coaches on these inside legs. You don't. That personally sponsored coach, this guy right here, is going to add coaches here, not you. You keep them on the outside. That's where you add coaches. Okay, so now you got 4 on the weak leg. Now you just added 2 on the strong leg. Now, what could be happening here? Okay, it may not be just boom, 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 you, right? In the middle of all this, this guy could add a coach right here onto your strong leg. Great, that's just more volume for you on your strong leg, okay? That just means that your next coach might be below him like that, okay? And then you add another one. There could be 2 or 3 coaches in between here and your personally sponsored coaches. If this guy adds a coach and this guy adds a coach and this emerald guy up here adds another coach, you know, that's why your strong leg is your strong leg, because there's all these different people, even people above you, that can be adding coaches down in here, okay? But for illustration purposes here, now we have 4 coaches on your weak leg, 4 coaches on your strong leg, plus this extra guy that's been added by another guy too. So here's what your organization looks like, 4 on each side, but you don't have any emeralds yet, and that's what you need. You need to turn 1 of your personally sponsored on each side into an emerald. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Okay, so this coach right here, this personally sponsored coach of yours, he just added a guy and he added it to his weak leg to start out with. And then he added 1 on his strong leg. Now you see this guy turns emerald. Now you have an emerald and 1, 2, 3 other personally sponsored coaches on this leg for a total of 4 coaches and 1 emerald. So you're halfway there as far as one side's got everything it needs. Okay, so this is what your organization looks like right now. Now this personally sponsored coach right here decides to go ahead and add a coach. And then he adds another one on his strong leg. This is inside is his weak leg, outside is his strong leg. Now he's added 2, he becomes emerald, and boom, there you are, diamond. Okay, so now you've got the 2 emeralds plus 3 other personally sponsored coaches on each leg. Now you're a diamond coach. Okay, so you see how that works, that you're adding on the outside. Everybody's adding on the outside of their strong and weak legs. So if we look at your diamond organization now, what you see here, I want you to look at which legs are strong legs for which people. Okay, this leg coming off of you is your weak leg. Remember, this was your weak leg, because like all these coaches in here weren't yours. This was your strong leg. It's your weak leg, but it's also every one of these coaches' strong legs. All the people that are on your weak leg, this whole line, is their strong leg. The inside legs of each of those people are their weak legs, right? Then this coach, who is on this coach's weak leg, right? That's his weak leg. His strong leg is this coach's weak leg. His weak leg is going off the inside of that, right? So this is his outside. This is his inside. Okay, same thing comes over here. This is the strong leg, your strong leg. It's this coach's strong leg. This is this emerald's coach weak leg, which is this coach's strong leg, and then his weak leg goes off the inside. Okay, so I hope I'm not confusing you there. I know it's a little bit confusing, but the inside leg of anybody is their weak leg, and the outside leg is their strong leg. And in some cases, someone's strong leg, like my weak leg, might be your strong leg if you're on my weak leg. Okay, so I know that can be confusing. Maybe just sit there and study it for a while and watch how the different ways go, so that you can see how people can be adding to your strong leg, and that should hopefully make some sense to you. Strategies for placement. We talked about all this as we went, but I'll kind of go back over it for you here. So for a new coach, you want one on each leg to start. You want the working coach on the weak leg, discount coach on the strong leg, if you have that option. If they're both people who want to work the business, great. One goes on the strong leg, one goes on the weak leg, don't worry about it. If they're both discount coaches, don't worry about it. Put one on the weak leg, put one on the strong leg. The point is to get to emerald, okay? If the only reason to talk about working coach or discount coach is if you have one of each, and you can choose, pick the strong leg for the discount coach and the weak leg for the working coach. It's just likely a little bit better that way. Excuse me. So if you're emerald working toward ruby or diamond, what I would do is I would start out with the next few coaches after you become emerald, putting them on your weak leg to build volume so you can make more money, so you can get cycles and make that increase your check. And then after you've built your weak leg up a little bit, you're going to have to start balancing because you need 4 on each side. So then I'd start, if you get any discount coaches, I'd be putting them on the strong leg to help balance out and get your numbers. You need 4, so get your numbers with some discount coaches. And then the next few working coaches I'd put on your strong leg, because you're going to have an emerald over there. So you got to put some people over there who have the possibility of going to emerald. You got to balance it out. There's no exact formula for how to do that. It's a coach by coach thing, deciding who you think is going to do something to get to emerald, who do you think is not, how balanced are you, how many coaches do you have on each side. Okay, so you're balancing between getting the rank advancement and getting enough volume on your weak leg to make more cycles so that your check goes up. Okay, so that's why it's not an exact science. This is also why Beachbody does not have a video or some type of training explaining exactly how to do this, because if Beachbody tells you exactly how to do this, then they're liable if what they tell you isn't the best way to do it, and you think you could have made more money a different way, and you argue and say, or sue them or something like that. So they stay completely out of that and don't tell you where to put coaches, which is probably a smart thing. So with that, I will say that this is my way of doing coach placement. This is my advice, but there's lots of different things that can go on. Some people will do the work and make the money, and they'll be on a side that you didn't want them on, and other people that you thought were going to do really well will be on the side where they could make you money if they would, and they just don't do the work and they don't do well. There's just no way that I can tell you exactly how to do it. I tell you the theories that I go off of and the way that I try to build my business and the way I tell my team to build their business, and that's the best we can do. So this is all theoretical and is just a suggestion of a way to think about building your business. Okay, so I hope that helped you with your placement and cycle bonuses and how all that works, and maybe you can make some good decisions on where to put people. If not, like I said, I don't mind helping you guys put people where we think it's best and giving you advice. So just contact me. All right.